Okay, I could share my screen then. So I started refining a little bit, I don't know, like a half hour ago or so. So I had pinged Zach about this issue, which I think is second from here. I'll pull the planning board over too. The work I was looking here. Oh, actually, so I talked to Ross about this. This was a car that got passed to Ross that I was working on, and I think I about have it refined. And I double checked with him on Slack a moment ago that he doesn't mind me, weighting it and adding group, basically working through the description and updating it with what we decided in our comments. So I can do that after this meeting. I don't think we need a synchronous call to do that, but I will do that today. Get that one over. Then the next one that doesn't have anybody on it was this standardized security analyzer loggers. So that's why I jumped in here and I saw that this seemed very similar to something Zach was already doing over here in this MR common logger. But I saw that he pulled himself off, so I was asking him what he thought. But I'll let you vocalize what you said in Slack, Zach, if you want.
Sure, yeah. So that MR, that 73 for the common logger, that just gives a standard, gosh, what is it? Format for Logris. And so basically what we need to do is go through all the analyzers and see where we're logging with format.prints and replace it with a actual logger. So all you need to do is, I think I have in that MR an example of how you would use it. So you just need to import Logris and the common log util, and you can set the formatter to the default, and then just go through the code and replace all the formats with logs. So that should be captured here, which this one, I think what had happened was this issue was a duplicate of something that I made, and then the issue that I made was closed for this. So let's see, what should we, it says documentation.
So I have one question about this card. I see that this is talking about touching all security products. Taylor, Lucas, what do you guys think of that? Should we scope this to just SAST or?
So I feel like I've been getting burned by this exact conversation a lot, in that like I've been doing deprecation notices for us, that then all of Secure is like, hey, can we expand to all of Secure? And then like, oh yeah, by the way, auto DevOps and all the other configuration templates. So my thought is, yes, start with us, but maybe check and see if it's logical to either get the work coordinated with other groups, or if we care enough about it to go ahead and just do it ourselves.
Yeah, I think that largely, I completely agree with Taylor, but I think that it's a big part of that is level of effort. For something like changing line of logging, it's probably a pretty simple change. The other thing that I think is worth addressing is not all security products are created equal, or rather are not that different. So dependency scanning and SAST are obviously very tied into together, the analyzers. So those two should probably be treated more similarly than, say, license management, and DAST is always off doing its thing.
I think container scanning is the CLAR one, right? So that might be straightforward because it's also a Go project and uses Common, I believe. But yeah, DAST and license management should, this doesn't really apply to that, does it? Oh, this is standardizing across all of them though.
It does say analyzers though. So unless I don't know if that was a typo, but analyzers does not include DAST, container scanning, or license management.
Something that we could do, because so Victor, he created the GoLint issue that I was working on, and so we could just copy all those analyzers because all those are Go, and then just apply the same thing here. Just update the logging for those analyzers or for those projects, which I think that would just be SAST and DAST.
Or
Yeah,
dependency
so right here,
scanner.
enumerate them. So you have that list. That would be easy for you to just copy paste in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only other question I had about this one was, I can't remember where this discussion happened, but Logos is actually in maintenance mode. Logging doesn't change that much, but do we want to standardize across a maintenance mode library?
Oh, that's a good question. I wonder if we just update this to not be Logris, but to say uses common logger, right? So which could then change from Logris to something else if we wanted to in the future, right? What do you think of that?
The util is just it's setting a Logris formatter, so it's specific to Logris.
Oh, I see that right here, log. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. But I mean, yeah, like what Lucas was saying, it's like logs don't change all that much, and like I think he had some message where like if there's a CVE or something that pops up, like he'll update that. But like it's just not no new features are going to be added. Personally,
So,
I'm fine with using Logris, but I'll leave that to other folks.
yeah, I'm fine with Logris as well. I know we had a lot of different discussions about it, but we're also talking about, you know, analyzers that aren't, you know, that's a composition analysis, so they might feel differently. Do we want to open that conversation on this issue? What do you think the appropriate step forward there is, Lucas?
If I recall correctly, they didn't care. So I would say just do it. And again, it's mostly abstracted away in a common util. So I think that it's a fairly simple change to move forward later. But
Okay.
Standardization is good. So standardize there. And then if we want to update things, cool. But it's not like, unless someone invents a new logging level this month that we need to use, I don't imagine it's a concern.
Yeah, I agree. Cool. That's a good call out though. So should I start editing this live? Is that what we want to do this meeting, or Psychot, did you have a different plan? I feel like I've taken over and I don't need to do that. So I want to be, I was just moving us forward. So
I think last time we did this was, you know, as soon as your questions are answered, move it on to the next person.
oh,
And I've
okay,
been
cool.
taking some notes in the doc, so I hope I captured everything there.
Oh, cool. I'll look at that. I'll stop sharing and I'll go look at that, and then
Okay.
that sounds good.
So, okay, I can, if nobody wants to participate, yeah, I can talk about the one I am working on. All right. Let me share my screen. So I just opened up this one. Yeah. So I'm trying to understand the scope of this issue. Bring SAS to core. Can anybody please elaborate on this? Like, this is completely new thing for me. Like, I'm trying to understand why we need to move it to core. That's why I'm trying to read this one, like this issue.
So I do want to jump in here real fast because I know SAS to core has been around for a while. We have been blocked historically due to some licensing issues. Basically, we wanted to be careful with how we do license protection for our ultimate features. There's an active discussion right now with leadership about, is that a care that we have or not? You probably saw the blog post of us open sourcing or moving down 18 features to core. that effectively already exposes the license check. So it's one where kind of like, if they did it, let's also do it. So I think we may go ahead and move this forward in 13.0. I'm waiting for a final approval on that. So know that we might get moving very quickly on SaaS to core.
Okay. I found a list of like, you see here, this table. So which one should go to core? SAST, then, yeah, different things here like access to security dashboard. Yeah, I'm just digging into different stuff to understand the work scope, then I can define where we need to change. Yeah.
So if you look at like the entire life cycle of how this works, we have a analyzer run in a job that produces an artifact that gets uploaded to the Rails app, that gets rendered in the merge request, and eventually gets rendered in the security dashboard. That's the full life cycle. Security dashboard is an ultimate feature, so that is not going to change. So that's fairly easy. Just don't show that item in the sidebar and, you know, permissions and stuff. According to the fourth item on this list, presentation of JSON report merge request, we're not actually showing the merge request widget either. So all we need to do with this currently is allow the job to run without an ultimate license. So if you look at our template, there is a single line that prevents these things from running without a license, and that is checking whether GitLab features variable includes the word SAST.
Okay.
We don't currently distinguish between any of our analyzers in that way. We just check if SAST is a feature and run the analyzers. So I'm not sure that it makes sense to break these down per analyzer, with the lone exception being whether secret detection is separate, which based on the title of this, it's not.
Okay. So there are a number of issues related to this. I can show you actually. Kanban board. Where is that? Oh, not here actually. Oh, I forgot that. So what I meant, like, there are similar issues in the breakdown. I saw this is just only SAS to core. There are other analyzers to core I saw. I don't know whether that is related. Yeah. Okay, I can get back to this later. Let me dig into this, then yeah, I can discuss later on this.
Yeah, I would just say that this is a fairly big one, but I honestly don't know if this is worth breaking down as separate issues per analyzer or treating as in the epic as a whole. So okay. I would consider looking at that holistically.
Okay. Okay, I'll look into that. Thanks. Yeah, I'm done. If anyone wants to take over.
I had a couple more clarifications now that I better understand how we're working through this. So in our Google Doc, Lucas, you mentioned to ignore container scanning for the logging issue. That's actually a Go repository that uses common. Should we actually include that and just ignore license management and DAST?
Oh, I forgot that Clar actually uses common. Yeah, it should probably be included then.
Okay, cool.
Clar, though, I forgot who I was talking to about that, but they implemented something, like they have their own kind of Logos implementation. So
That's
I mean,
right.
but it's specific to Clar. It doesn't live in common. So I mean, the way I see it is like we should have it standard across, if you're using common, you should use a common logger.
Do you think that we should not have CLAR as a part of this issue and just do the two, or should we try to also add in that?
I think, I think we should just do the two, and then like if could maybe ping them, say, do you want this? Because it's fairly low effort, replacing a log. So that's what I would do. But
I'll write that down. Ignore CS and ping. Okay. As a part of Ghost style guidelines. Okay. And then in the issue, I could share my screen again. In the issue, it actually says something about documentation, and it's talking about documenting the logarith documentation here. Does that make sense? Like, are people going to be able to modify the level of logging, or what kind of documentation would we want to be seeing added here as a part of this issue?
I guess that link is supposed to go to the implementing custom scanners, which I'm trying to find where that documentation lives.
Well, I think, is that what this is? Oh yeah, there's the product template. That makes sense. I was just curious about that. Oh yeah, okay. Let's add that. Yeah, we need a task to do that. Seeing custom scanners. Okay, that makes sense. But in terms of, wow, sorry, kind of lost here. There we go. Nope, where'd you go? There it is. This documentation task, I don't see. What do you all think that should be? I think this probably goes away. We probably do want to add a checklist to our README, to our MR template. Is that what this is? I'm assuming. Does that make sense? That the MR, is that what they mean by mention must be documented? Oh no, when a new project. We also want to update our MR checklist to check for format calls. Would that be good?
I mean, format calls in and of itself aren't bad because you can format strings, but it's printing. So, but I
add that as a part of the checklist, or do you think that we'll be able to see that pretty clearly that we should be logging and using the logger?
I mean, I think we could see that fairly easily. Cool. If we're checking MR.
So that's just in the project README.
I added a link in the doc to the page I was looking for, which I don't know where this is linked to because I can never find it, but security scanner integration document, which I think is primarily aimed at third parties generating scanners integrating with ours. I think that's probably where that would go.
Okay, cool. Do we want documentation on each of the analyzers READMEs regarding it, or it's probably clear enough to have it in the code, right? Okay, I'm thinking I'll probably just drop this whole little section of documentation then. We'll have one for the, I don't know what would be put in the project template README though. What would does this go away too? What kind of documentation would we want there? I think that's for like when we're spinning up a new analyzer to wrap, right?
Yeah, there's actually a project template in Analyzers Common.
Yeah, I think it's right here, right? This is it here. But I don't know what we would even put. It's saying add something to the README, but I don't know what Victor was thinking we would document in that.
Can you go back to that project? Is there a Go mod file in here? Okay, no.
No.
Because this is a template for security products. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I made this like a year ago and never touched it. So I'm trying to remember if there is a template for analyzer projects, which would actually be the one we'd be interested in.
Man, I think
I don't think it's necessary, honestly. So I think
yeah,
this one
okay.
could be dropped too.
I'm gonna drop both of these, and then I'll also add, we'll add a documentation task for the custom scanners. Cool. All right, that I think gets me what I needed. So, thank you. To whoever's next.
Okay.
I guess we're probably pretty close to the end of time here, but
Yep.
my next question is, I see in the planning breakdown we have a few that are assigned to other folks. Are all the ones that are assigned to folks ones that you all are actively refining right now?
Yeah, I'm doing that. Yeah.
Okay.
So after refinement, we can unassign ourselves, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Here's a slightly off-topic question. When you create a new issue, what workflow label is it supposed to get? Like,
It
for
depends
example,
on.
oh, go ahead.
Depends on if
Workflow
the
breakdown?
feature or what.
I struggle with this too. There are way too many labels, and I don't fully understand always why and when. Make sure it gets tagged with our group. If it's something that we expect to deliver, the deliverable tag. If you just don't know, you can ping it to me, and I can figure out tags as well.
Right on. Yeah, but as long as it has group static analysis, then it'll show up on our board, and we'll refine it at some point. Okay, cool. Yeah, because I know one card we scoped tighter, and I need to create a couple issues to create new QA test projects, and so I was curious where I was going to do with that. So makes sense.
There's a take date tag, right? I haven't checked that. I need to use that.
There is a tech debt. I don't know how much we actually use that. For throughput, we use Backstage specifically. I know, Taylor, you've used tech debt. I don't know if we'd use that in a more specific capacity.
No, not really. It's a pillar, or it's a column in the pillars board that we're using. So it was just a way to have another bucket. I don't think it actually goes into any reporting or anywhere. It's just more of metadata.
Okay. All right. I think we are running out of time.
Yeah, I got to jump to another call. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.